Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to a new live stream today. Oh, we got a comment already. Who that? Hype, Captain Iron Dog. Hello, Captain Iron Dog. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Um, oh my god, I was just writing down notes of what I'm going to talk about, and I'm already like, oh god, I got to talk about it. Okay, so this live stream will be my experience with the Niagara Falls Comic Con. I believe this is my third time going. I think my first time was a few years ago. I went to see Pom Clementeff. She was there, uh, to talk about Mantis and all that. And then last year, I went to see Michael Rosenbaum, and this year was big because they had Judith Hoag from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've been wanting to see her for a long time. William Fichtner, a local hero. He's the guy who was in Heat, The Dark Knight, You and Your Friends Are Dead. Colonel Sharp, which is I know him from. And then, let's see, who else was there? Lee Waddell, who was the stuntman from Scream, who played Ghostface in the original Scream movie. And then Roger L. Jackson from Scream, who did the voice, Hello, Sydney. That guy. So they were all there at this Comic Con, and those are the main ones I wanted to see. I did want to see Beverly D'Angelo and Chevy Chase, but they were out of my pay range. I couldn't justify it just for two people. Like, the price for them was like half of what I paid for like this entire screencast, and I just couldn't do it. And that's what the thing about these Comic Cons. What I love is it realizes like how big of a fan you are of a certain thing. It's like how far are you willing to go to do that. And I love Vacation, but I guess not that much. It's like I love Scream, and I went all out for Scream, but Vacation, I couldn't go all out for Vacation. Could not do it. Hello, Captain Iron Dog. Hello, hello. Okay, so first things first. So before the Comic Con started, I actually had to order a few things, including this shirt, and it showed up late. I ordered two shirts, one for Colonel Sharp and one for Judith Hoag. Colonel Sharp shirt showed up. It was in my pictures. Let me show that right now. When I met Colonel Sharp, I took a selfie with him at his table because I was like, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I don't need a professional photo. I could just do the selfie at the table. And there it is. That shirt is the, what do you call it? The patch that they wear in the movie Armageddon. I told him Armageddon's like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the best. And he told me he wishes that they made movies like that again. And that was a great experience working on it. And we talked. And I told him I was very proud of him because whenever I see him in movies, I'm like, you're like a local town hero. It makes me so proud to see you in like Heat and the Rock. Oh, not the Rock. Armageddon and like other movies. Like I think Lone Ranger is one as well. And I was just like so proud. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'll keep going. Stupid camera. I don't know if it froze or not. The bank manager. Yes. Stupid camera froze. All right, it's bothering me, so let me just stop cam for a second here. Yep, I'll just stop cam for now, and then maybe go back to it. Yeah, stupid. All right, so technical issues. All right, anyway, so continuing on. All right, continuing on. Let's see, where was I? Yes, William Fichtner. So I got the shirt for him, and then I got the shirt I'm wearing now, which was the Sid T-shirt that was worn in the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And what do you call it? I was really hoping to get that for a photo op with April O'Neil, but sadly it did not show up in time. So I was like, all right, I'll just do a selfie at the table. It will be fine. That'll be great. Whatever, man. So as I ordered the shirt, and like I ordered like a week out. Yep, I turned off the camera because just it froze. So I ordered the Armageddon shirt and I ordered the Sid shirt, and I was hoping that they would show up in time because usually they show up within a week. It's only t-shirts, right? So I did that, and then what do you call it? Let's see. Oh yeah, so the Sid shirt didn't show up in time, so I was like, dang it. Oh well, I'll do a selfie at the table, right? So the day before, not even the day before, that morning of, so I'm waiting for my ride to go to the, what do you call it, to the Comic Con, and I'm wondering, hey, let me double check April O'Neil's yellow coat because I do have a yellow raincoat. I bought it a few years ago because of the, what do you call it, the Jurassic Park Comic Con. I wanted to do Dennis Nedry, so I did have a yellow raincoat. So I was like, let me try it out. Let me try it out to see if I could do that for April O'Neil. So I did. I looked it up and I saw that, oh my God, she has a red flannel shirt. And then she's wearing it with a raincoat. So I was like, oh shit, that's cool. I got a red flannel shirt. I could do that for the photo op. So since it's, day of, I don't want to buy it online. I don't even think I could buy the photo op online. And plus, I don't know what time I'm going to get there. Because this year, I actually had the speed pass. And the speed pass helped me out because, what do you call it? I didn't have to worry about, let's see. Oops. Give me a second here. Oop. Did I freeze? Am I still in here? Yeah, let's try that out. Nope. There we go. Boom. Yes. Trying to figure things out on this one. So I look at the picture and I see it's the red flannel thing. I was like, oh, good. So I go to the Comic Con and so I get there about 10 o'clock. Usually I try to get there at 9, but this year I'm like, I have the speed pass. It's okay. I don't have to rush myself. Literally don't have to rush myself. I can take my time. It'll be fine. So I go in there, and the first person I see is William Fincher with the Armageddon shirt. Perfect. And then I go to see, who's the next person to see? Oh, yeah, I go see Amanda. So Amanda, let me pull her up. Amanda is from Friday the 13th. There she is. As you notice, I am sweating profusely. This was like the first Comic-Con I forgot to wear a hat because I think of one of my early Comic-Cons, I realized, oh, you should wear the hat. It captures the sweat so you don't sweat as much. But this year I completely forgot my hat. So I'm like roaming around and I'm like sweating like that. It's ridiculous. So then after her, I go to see Judith Hogue at her table. So she signed my, oh wait, hang on. Let me show you the signature of Amanda. Amanda signed my Friday the 13th box right here. As you can see, it's filling up. This is like the best investment I've ever had. So it has like tons of signatures on it from the entire cast of the other movies. So I had her sign the Blade right here. Can't really see it, but it's there just the same. And then I also saw Derek later, which I'll show the selfie a little bit later because I'm trying to tell the story in order. So then I had Judith Hogue sign this to Frank, Judith Hogue, April O'Neil, and she asked me I asked I had so many things because I was talking about like, oh my God, like I loved you in, Ninja Turtles for the last 30 years, one of my all-time favorite movies, and the other thing is Armageddon. Armageddon is another one of my all-time favorite movies, and I always quote that line, "That's no salesman, that's your daddy," whenever I see a little spaceship. And she was like, oh my God, I love you so much. And she was, just complimenting me and saying that, she had a story for me. She's like, hold on to that story. I have a story for you, but there's a long line. Just ask me at my Q&A. You going to my Q&A? I'm like, yes, absolutely. I'm going to your Q&A. So as she was signing it, I was like, oh, do you write quotes? And she says, I usually charge for it, but since you're so sweet and whatnot, I'll write your quote. So the quote I had her write just because it was stuck in my head at the time. And for those who follow me on Twitter, it's related to the photos I posted, when I rewatched it a few months ago. So I was like, ooh. So what the quote I have is, that must be Splinter's favorite. So that was stuck in my head because I love that scene. It's like, you killed my brother, you dirty rat. And she's like, oh, that must be Splinter's favorite. And that was stuck in my head. So when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, I got to have her sign this. And it's funny too, because this box, I believe I ordered from NECA. So it kind of came a little damaged in the mail, so there's kind of bumps and bruises on this, but this is sentimental. This is just to me because she asked me, do you want to personalize? I'm like, yeah, why the hell not? So to Frank, and she had green paint pen, which was awesome because it really stands out and it reminds you of oh my gosh, that's so cool, Ninja Turtles. So I had her do that, and then I think right before the Q&A, I think I could squeeze in one more signature. So I went to see Derek. Derek was at his table. Derek played Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees. Let's see. There he is, Jason 09. Which means I think out of all the Jasons, I think I only need one more that's still surviving because I think Jason Part 4 died. And Jason 5 is fake Jason. So I met CJ. I got Kane Hodder. I have Ari, the guy from the first Friday the 13th, so all I need is Jason Part 2. He signed my DVD, but that was before I had the box set, so hopefully Jason Part 2 shows up again so I can have him sign the box. But, this is so cool to have almost all the surviving Jasons to sign this box. You know what kills me about this box set, guys, is that I got this on sale last year for like $60 from Shout Factory, and I've never seen it that low again. It's never gotten that low for $60. So like for $60 to cover this with like Corey Feldman, Kane Hodder. Oh yeah, and one of the guys from Friday the 13th Part 4 passed away. Um, oh, it doesn't even have his name. It's just Rob. His character was Rob. He just passed away like a few days ago, like a week ago or something. R.I.P. But yeah, I'm glad to have met him. But yeah, there's all these signatures on here. And I got to meet Derek at his table. God, he was friendly. He had so many stories. He told me like what do you call it? All the Friday the 13th stories, and I told him that like that was my first Friday the 13th in the theater. It was amazing, and that that movie inspired me to go back to watch the other ones. And he said that's what it's all about. And he always says that like the people may not always like the remake, but it brings the audience back to the original movies, which I thought was a great positive way to see sequels and reboots and whatnot, because he was like, if they go back to see the original movies, he did his job. So he was very proud of that. And then we got the selfie. What I like about the Niagara Falls one is that some of the actors have like free selfies at their table. Well, not William Finkner, but Derek and Amanda had free selfies at their table, which was cool. Oh, also Lee did, but I'll get to Lee later. But Lee did as well, so that was really cool. So after going to Judith, Amanda, Derek, I raced to the photo op, which I think was her photo op was at 12, Judith Hogue. So I had to change my outfit, get ready, buy my ticket. And it was funny too, because the ticket was like long and there was like a little gold patch at the end. And it said like, the digital photo and, the regular thing. So I was like, okay, great. So I go up there and I just hand it to him. Yep, that's great. Yep, do that. So I put on the jacket, put on the thing. And it was so great to have that last minute cosplay before the show. I was like, yes, I have the raincoat. I have her red flannel. This is perfect. So I go see Judith Hogan. She was like, hello, friend. She recognized me. It was so cool. Um, so I go see her at the photo booth, take the picture. So I go to pick up my digital copy. Oh, yeah, let me show you the picture with April O'Neil, my last minute cosplay idea. Did I upload? Oh, hang on. I think I downloaded it, but I didn't post it yet. Hang on. So as I'm doing that, as it loads and whatnot, there it is. Okay. So I go to the photo booth, to pick up my photo and then ask about my digital. And they said, do you have that little gold ticket? And I'm like, I gave it to the person and I asked, do I have to tear it apart? And they're like, oh, no, just go and ask about your digital copy. And then I'm like, oh, fine. Because I think it was like the first big photo op of the day. So they weren't all on the same page. So she's like, fine. Just give me your email. I'm like, all right. I gave her my email. And here's the photo. Boom. There she is. And I'm wearing the flannel and the red, the red flannel and then the yellow coat, like April O'Neil in the first TMT movie. It was so great. So then, hang on. Let me go to the comments. I did see a question from Twitter. Hi, Frank. Did you see who you wanted to? Yes, I did, except Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo. I just couldn't do it, Cotton. I couldn't do it. I couldn't pay that much for it. So, yeah, that was so cool to meet Judith Hogue. I was like, oh my gosh. Because, like, literally, Captain Iron Dog knows this. I just rewatched them in, like, December or January, and I was obsessed with April O'Neil in that first movie. I was like, oh my God, the open matte version. He knows what I'm talking about. So, anyway. So after that, after the photo booth and them going, all right, give us the email. So I gave him my email, and I go finally rest, because it's been boom, 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 boom since I got there. So from like 10. So right now, let me look at my timer. It's probably about 12:30, 12:20, because I just did the photo op, waited the photo op, and went right through. So it's probably about 12:20, and I finally get to rest. I go sit in the hallway and rest. And I down my Sunkist that I bought right away. And I start up my Pepsi Zero. Because I do recommend this. I forgot to do it this time, but always bring a snack. I forgot to bring a snack. Always bring cookies or something sugar, just in case you have that. Because there was one time at Fan Expo where I was just running around and I did not stop to eat. And I got like a little lightheaded and I needed cookies. So that helps. I did not have cookies this time, so I had the little Sunkist I bought right in the beginning of the day. So I was like, down that stuff. Because that's all I had. Like, I needed like a little pick-me-up. But I got to rest. I rested in the hallway right in front of the Q&A panel, and right during then it was La Bamba guy. La 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 Bamba. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, funny story, guys. Funny story. My mom forgot to send me the photo, but I guess I just got to improv this. So for those who don't know, if you guys remember, Lou Diamond Phillips went to the previous Comic Con that I went to, the Steel City Con, and my mom wanted to see him, right? And I think I even showed the photo where he walked through the crowd, and we kind of got that one photo. And she wanted to meet him so bad, and she wasn't able to go see him because I think we had to leave or something, and like budget reasons as well. So we were seeing that. Oh my God, Lou Diamond Phillips is coming into Niagara Falls, so we have a chance to see him again, and she finally can get her photo op. If she has it in the budget, we could finally do this. So we go. He's there, right? And I'm sitting outside because I need to rest, and I just been racing around. My mom's in the Q&A, and she's so disappointed because Lou Diamond Phillips changed his look. He no longer has the long gray hair. He no longer has the gray goatee. He has literal, like, he colored his hair black, and he has like a little mustache, a little pencil mustache. And my mom was like, no. And she's sitting there in the audience, you know, like looking at the clips and her picture she's taking. And she's like, I can't do it. He looks younger than me now, because at the time he looked cool. He had like the gray hair and like the goatee and everything. He looked like a cool dude. Now he just looked like he was working on another job. My mom was super disappointed. I'd show the picture, but she forgot to send it to me. So anyway, from here on out, I go to see Judith Hogue because she said, Frank, you know, when you go to you're going to my Q&A, right? Just ask me about the Armageddon thing and we'll go right to it. I'm like, okay, sure, we'll do. So they release the Lou Diamond Phillips people and they bring in the Judith Hogue people. I sit up right up front. I go to see her, and I'm sitting in front. I got good seats. There she is. She's right in front of me. It's great. It's awesome. And then like the guy who's running the panel is like this old, you know, this old bald guy or whatever. And he's like, you're Judith Hogue, right? And he asked like three or four questions. That was it. And then he turned it to the audience. And then the audience asked a question. I was the first one, actually. I raced right up to the microphone and I was like, Judith, oh my God, Armageddon. Whenever I see the spaceship, I have to tell my mom, like, that's not a salesman, that's your daddy. I didn't even ask a question. She just knew. So after I told her the story, she says, oh, Mom, and then told her story. And it was like, she gave me 5 minutes, guys. That was incredible. Judith Hogue gave me 5 minutes of story, and it was about her, how she auditioned for Armageddon. She got the job, or they said that you're in the running, and then you got the gig, but you start tomorrow, and you got a costume fitting tonight, and there's no script. And she like had this whole story about how there was like no script, and they got the script on the day of or whatever when they went to go film it. And she literally found out she had the gig the night before, and it was amazing. And it was so cool to hear her story. And poor Mama Ireland. Oh my gosh. So after that, there was other people who asked questions, and it was adorable because they all asked her like, were you the voice on the cartoon? And she's like, no, honey, I was not the voice of the cartoon. And then there was another guy who asked about Armageddon, which was weird. I never thought that would happen, but there was a guy who asked about Armageddon, and apparently like that's like a real like emotional subplot to him, because I don't know, he didn't get into details, but I assume it's a child of divorce like myself. But like he got real emotional about his story about Armageddon and how he relates to that character in that movie. And I was like, oh, great. I'm not the only Armageddon fan. That rules. So, yes, I did post the video to my Instagram. I might post it to my I Want My TV Now. I might. But it was so funny. As I'm standing there recording her, I was like, oh, geez, I should start recording this because she's actually telling me the story I wanted to hear. So I did that. And then, let's see. I got through the panel. Went really well. That panel was really great. So after the Q&A, my mom was like, okay, are you going to go to see the Texas Chainsaw guys afterwards? I'm like, no, let me go get my other signatures. And my other signatures were Roger Jackson and Lee Waddell, the guy from Scream, because I knew those would be bigger lines. So I went to see Roger first. Roger! And he signed my posters. He signed my Friday. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I went to see Roger Jackson, and I was like, it was so great to see you again, man. And he's like, oh, we're seeing each other again? When's the last time you saw me? I'm like, I think it was Fan Expo. And he says, Fan Expo was a long time ago. I'm like, I know it was. It's such a long time ago. Because at that time, I only had like photo that he signed, right? I didn't have the movie posters, and I said, there I had you say my favorite line from the movie trailer, which is history repeats. Like, don't you know history repeats itself? And he says, well, history is repeating itself again. I was like, oh, I love the voice. So I pulled out my Scream 6 poster, and I had him write with the red pen because I thought that'd be really cool for the Scream 6 poster. So this is the one that T. Hamill gave me for Christmas. So I'm actually starting this one up. So this one has Hayden Panettiere, I think her name is, from the movie. And then this one has Ghostface as well. So it's got 2 signatures on it out of the whole Scream 6 cast. And then I had him sign my Scream poster. And it was so funny because I had the speed pass. So I jumped in front of a bunch of people. And as I rolled it out, they're like, whoa, because they see all the signatures on it. They're like, holy smokes. So I have him sign it right on top by Skeet's head. Because I figured to have all the killers on one side. So on top, it's Roger Jackson, Stu, Matthew Lillard, and then Skeet as Billy, and then the last one is Lee Waddell. He's the one other signature I got. I think I got a close-up of it over here somewhere. Yeah. Oh, no, it's Lee's. Here we go. Roger Jackson, Ghostface. I like the little signature he does, too. He does like the little Ghostface thing. But yeah, that's the signature he gave me for my Scream poster. And then, after that, I went to see Lee. Lee was great. And I think he must have been talking to someone about fans or lines or whatever, because he motioned to me like, see, the line is always here. There's always fans. So I went to see him. He signed my poster. We talked about the Steel City Con, and he was like, oh, dude, that Steel City Con was impressive. Like, the whole room was filled. If you guys remember when I talked about that, they squeezed in as much as people as possible into that room. And it was just like a huge concert. So, yeah, it was fun to reminisce about the Steel City Con. And then we talked about how he felt like that Wes Craven wasn't really fully appreciated until he was gone, which I agree, because I feel like Wes did a lot for horror and film and, you know, actors and whatnot, because there's some movies that he did. It was stuff. Oh, there we go. Friend of the show, T. Hamill. Yes, thank goodness for T. Hamill. Yep, the Steel City Con. Yep. But yeah, I met Lee Waddell, and we were talking about that, reminiscing, and then he was talking about like how for him to become like a stuntman, it took him like 10 years. But yeah, he gave me like a full-on like story and, you know, one-on-one experience. He probably gave me about 5 minutes at his table, which is pretty cool. Maybe a little bit more, but at least 5 minutes. So that was really cool. And then he gave me a little bracelet that said Ghostface, Niagara Falls Comic Con. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome, son. Shit, son, that's cool. That's cool. So after that, the big story of Niagara Falls Comic Con. So I got my Scream signatures. I wait for them to dry because the paint pen takes a little bit to dry, so I wait a little while. Roll them up, put them in the tubes, and then as I'm walking through the door, I did see a glimpse of Chris Jericho, and that was amazing to see Chris Jericho. That was like seeing an icon, a legend. Like, history of wrestling is on his body and his face. Like, it's all there. And that was cool to see him. Like, oh my God, it's Chris Jericho. Oh my gosh. So the next panel I go to see is a half a panel. I catch the end of it, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guys. It's like these 2 stuntmen. One played Leatherface in the 2003 movie for like a couple of scenes because I think he had to go to the hospital. And then the other one played Leatherface in the 3rd movie. And it was an okay panel. There was some questions from the audience. I went up there and asked a question because I played Leatherface for Halloween. So, like, I wanted to know if, like, there was, like, one thing they click into when they become Leatherface. Like, to me, like, when I become Leatherface, it's like I crouch down and I move my head around like a bird or whatever. Like, it's just, like, quick movements of the head. Like, I'm, like, looking everywhere because I can't see in my mask. So that's why I'm, like, looking everywhere like this. And then like I crouch down and then I have like a little swagger, like a little, like almost like a spider walk. That's what I'm thinking of when I become like Leatherface. And I was like, do you guys have like something similar when you become Leatherface? And they're like, no, I just put on the mask and I feel scary. So I'm scary. It's like, oh shit. There's no deep there's no deep story or anything that they click into, or it's been so long that they don't care anymore. I don't know which, but I was just like, oh man, I was hoping that they'd be like, oh yeah, you know, when I put on the costume, I kind of think of like this, and then, you know, I kind of do that, or, you know, when I put it on, I kind of have like a little limp or something, or when I put it on, I think of this. No, they're just like, I put it on and I'm scary. I don't have to do anything else. It's like, all right, fine, I guess. There's no secret ingredient. Exactly, Captain Iron Dog. There is no secret ingredient. It's like, God damn it. And then what did you see? I love seeing Chris Jericho whenever his band performs here locally. Oh, that's cool. You get to see him? That's nice. But yeah, it's cool to see Jericho in person. So after that, they exit us out, and we have to get back in line again for the Derek and Amanda panel. So Derek and Amanda from Friday the 13th, 2009. Here we go, guys. Here we go. So my mom kind of tells me, she's like, I don't really like the moderator. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, he's kind of, about himself. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I didn't notice that in the, that probably 15 minutes I was there for Leatherface. I'm like, didn't really notice it. But my mom told me afterwards in the hallway, she's like, he's kind of about himself. I'm like, okay, that's all right. Let's see if I notice it. So we get our seats for Amanda and Derek for Friday the 13th. Good seats, right next to the microphone, right on the stage. We watch them walk on. And right away, I notice something's wrong with this moderator. This dude comes off as like a fanboy. Because all my years of going to Comic Cons, I've probably been going to them at least 10 years. The big ones at least. Like 10 years ago was my first fan expo. So at least for 10 years, I've been going. A little bit longer if you count the Buffalo Comic Cons, but whatever. At least 10 years. So I noticed right off the bat that this panel guy is a fanboy. Because whenever I go to these panels, or I'm sure you guys know, if you guys go to a panel, it's usually a guy in a suit. He has like a little outline, couple questions, and he always comes off not as a fan. But he asks the questions and knows how to control the panel. He knows how to pace it. He knows when to ask questions, and he knows when to switch. That's usually how it goes. It's been like that for the last 10 years. And like right away, I noticed something's wrong with this guy because he's so excited to see them. He starts going, you, and Derek is like, on stage, like, what's going on? And he's like, hang on, just calm down, buddy. Just like, and the guy's like, you. I was like, holy smokes, he is so nervous to ask the first question. I don't even remember what the first question was, but that was so noticeable of him being so eager to meet these people. Actually, I think I might remember the first question because it was one of the first questions that Derek was like, hang on, buddy, you're on a completely different level than I am. Because I think the first question or one of the questions early on that he was able to get out was, hey, how does it feel to be inspired by Kane Hodder and the other Friday the 13th guys to become who you want to be? And he was like, whoa, hang on, wait a minute. Like, that's not true. Like, that's not the way it goes or something like that. It was something like that where he was like, oh, you were inspired by those guys. And Derek was like, not really. I think you're on a whole different level than I am right now. And like Derek called it out. Like, we're not on the same page. Because like Derek was trying to tell stories and the guy was asking questions and they're completely not on the right stories. And then one of the things that came up, like one of like early questions, because I was like, oh dear, oh gosh. So the panel moderator asked them about water stunts in Friday the 13th. And from what I can recall, like the only water stunt possibly is the girl getting hit in the head, the nude girl, the boat, and then I think at the end when he has to pull them in the water through the deck. And that's it. So I'm like, water stunts. And even after I'm thinking this in my head, because it's all going flashing in my head, like, wait a minute, there's like hardly any water stunts with these two people. And then they say that as well. And Derek was like, well, I think I'm the only one who had to do any water stunts. And then they talked about the makeup. And then, again, the moderator, he gave us his whole backstory. Like, he says, oh, you must have used this kind of makeup because I work for a makeup company and I did this and that for this movie and we did this and we made this. I was like, oh my gosh. The guy completely took the panel and started talking about his makeup company and what he did for a movie and what they did. And he did like that maybe 2 or 3 times. I didn't count, but it was quite a bit where I'm like, okay, I know too much about this moderator. I shouldn't know this much about the moderator. And another thing that happened, which was, I thought he did not ask panel appropriate questions. Like, to me, it should be like, hello, Amanda. Hello, Derek. You guys, you've been working in Hollywood for a long time. Like, so what inspired you to become actors? And then that's how it goes. And then like, early in your career, you did this, Amanda. Can you talk about that? You were, Friday the 13th wasn't your first movie, but Return to the House on Haunted Hill was your first like horror movie. Can you tell us a little about that? Derek, your first stunt was in this movie. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, it should go like that. It should go like that. But this dude asked Amanda, he was like, hey, Amanda, who's your favorite monster, movie monster? And I was like, whoa, holy shit, that is like a fan question. Like if you're like, okay, let's turn it to the audience, and the fans come up and say, hey, what's your favorite horror movie monster? That's that kind of question. That's not like a main panel question. And I was like, holy smokes, oh my gosh, this panel, this freaking panel. And let's see. So there was a point. Let's see. Yep. And not only that, because I wrote down notes because I want to make sure I got all of them. So there were several times where he made fun of his own mother, the panelist, the moderator. Like he threw shade at his mom. Like the first time it's funny, but the second and third time it's like, okay, what's wrong with your mom? What's going on there? That's a little oversharing, and what more than I need to know for this panel. So, and not only that, but like this guy, this moderator, like it's not clicking that he's gone over his time. He's clearly gone over his time, and he's struggling for questions because I believe he kept asking Amanda about like her, horror movie experience, and like, oh geez, did my camera go out again? Oh, okay, good, we're good. So he keeps asking about her horror movie experience, but if you look at her Wikipedia, IMDb, it's mostly like TV shows like I want to make sure I get them right, like the OC and Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, LA Finest. It's like like soap opera primetime movies, and she's only like in a couple of horror movies, and he keeps asking her about like her horror experience, and I was like, ooh, this isn't great. And like I'm already feeling like the tightness of like the rope of like we got to get this moving. And then there was a guy who came from the side. I'm like, oh shit, a guy coming from the side, that's not good news. That's either 10 minutes left or 5 minutes left. Oh my god. And there was a point in the panel where I thought, oh, this is great, turn it over to the audience, hand it over to the audience, because it was a funny story from Derek. He was talking about the movie Cursed, how it was like refilmed like 3 times, and then there was that funny photo of him in the animal control car. He told that story. Great transition. Let's move to the audience questions. The moderator does not go to the audience. It's even awkward. It's even like, so anyway, guys, like, and he's like struggling for a question. And I'm like, oh my God, turn it to the audience. Let the audience ask the questions, because the thing that about Comic Cons is about the fan experience. It's about fans meeting their heroes, fans meeting their idols, getting a chance to interact with that actor, with that actress. Maybe they don't have enough time to go to the signature table. They can't wait that long. Maybe this is their only shot to ask them questions. This dude took up the entire time. And like I think there was like maybe 3 minutes left, maybe 2 minutes left. He says, oh God, I ran out of time. Let's try to do some audience questions and see how long it takes. I race right up and I ask my question. Derek, Amanda, you guys make horror movies. And meanwhile, as I'm trying to ask this question, the guy's like, he went right up to ask a question. And I think I almost did. I think I did this where I was just like waved him like to, quiet, because I was like, I want to ask my question. I'm like, you guys make a lot of horror. Oh, you worked on Friday the 13th. It's a horror movie. It has like dark elements. Do you have any behind the scenes stories of on set that brought levity to the set, so you guys weren't, scared or anything like that? And Derek, of course, told this funny story that him and Amanda were there for. And that was it. There was like at least 10 to 15 people, maybe more, in line to ask questions, because there was 2 microphones, at least 5, 5 on each, maybe 15 all together, were not able to ask the questions. And the moderator had the balls to say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a watch. And I'm like, dude, like I do live streams. I do this like, a couple times a month. I know when an hour has come along. I can feel it. I can feel like when it's been 40 minutes. I can feel like when it's been an hour. Like even at work, like when me and my, coworkers BS, when it's been 30 minutes. You know how long it's been. And for this guy to have the nerve to say, I'm sorry, I don't have a watch, is like ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. And I'll say this, I'll admit it, because like, they had like a little Facebook image and I said, terrible moderator or something like that. This moderator was not good, or moderator's bad, something like that. Not too bad. I didn't swear or anything. I just simply stated it. the moderator messaged me and asked me why. And I literally told him everything I told you. And then he said to me, he said, I only got the gig the week of, and they didn't give me a schedule. And I'm like, guy, they posted the schedule the week of. If you look on their Niagara Falls Comic Con schedule, it tells you what room it is and what time. And so the Texas Chainsaw Duo started at 1:30, so the next one started at 2:15. So the next panel starts at 3 p.m. So that means you at least have 45 minutes of panel, but you have to like probably calculate 5 minutes of the room filling up and leaving. So you probably have about 40 minutes. So you probably have about 15 to 20 minutes of questions yourself and then turn it over to the audience, because you have to know that these actors do a lot of Comic Cons. They do a lot of panels. They're pros. They're professionals. They're going to have stories. You just have to let them talk. And, the audience are going to have interesting questions. Even if they're fanboy, to say like, haha, I heard the rumors of Ronan, the Teenage Ninja Turtles movie. Is that real? Like, at least that's a story. That's something to go on. We already know the answer is probably like, oh, it's just rumor on the internet, but it's a story to go on. And Judith can talk about it. Like Judith gave me 5 minutes. Judith gave everyone at least 5 minutes of story time. And that moderator was smart enough to be like, I don't know this chick. I have like 3 questions here. I'm going to hit my 3 questions and turn it to the floor. A ton of her fans are here. And that's what they did. This dude hogged up the entire time. And I hate to throw him under the bus, but seriously, guy, like in my years of going to the panels, it was never this bad. And there's always self-awareness of the guy doing the panel to turn it over to the audience. Because when you're struggling for questions, that's the time to turn it over to the audience. And if you don't know them that well enough, like, just do like a little Wikipedia search, like hit the main things, like just say, to start off, like, hey, where did your career start out at? What inspired you to become an actor? What was your first role? What was the role that made you feel like, oh my God, this is big? All right, let's go to the audience here. Like, that's it. That's all you got to do. The actors are perfect. They could tell stories. They've had tons of experience doing these. It just blew my mind. It blew my mind. And that was the last thing I had to do before I left the Comic-Con. So that was about 3:30 or whatnot. 3 o'clock, 3:30, because I walked around the con a little bit to look at the vendors. I will say this, the positives of the show. I do like that they put all the actors in the ballroom, although I do kind of feel like it was a little packed. I think that they moved people around due to popularity. I think it would have worked. Another thing would be there wasn't really a plan for people with speed passes. Speed passes, like for Derek, I had to go around his table and say, like, I have a speed pass. Can I cut through? And then the Roger Jackson guy, his handler was like, hey, I'm going to let these 2 people go ahead of you because they've been waiting here for a long time. So I'll let them get them. I'm like, fine. I just got my speed pass. As long as I get to going, like, that's fine. The other thing that was like a little iffy, but I did like the hallway thing. I thought that kind of worked. Everyone mostly stayed to the side. I do like that they gave the vendors the entire room. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't think it even got over 2 packed. I think there's like some sections that got a little packed, but I think that's just because of like the stores or whatnot. Like, I feel like popularity people like Top Pops, like you need to put him somewhere in the middle, not on the end. I think they thought like, okay, maybe his crowd would be huge or something like that, but like it kind of blocks. Like, I feel like the outer lane should be clear. Like, you can clog up the middle, but like let's try to have the outer lanes kind of open. So that was fun. They did have a couple options, and I will say this: I'll call out this one vendor. So there was a vendor there who I recognized because I was there for the Frightmare at the Falls thing. And I think he told you guys this way back when I went to the Frightmare, when I told my story on there. But there was a Rose McGowan Cherry Darling figure, and he was charging $300 for it because it was a rare toy and it was signed by Rose McGowan. Because remember I told you guys, it was like, oh man, it's signed. I just wanted the figure. So I went, walked past it. I'm like, oh, I recognize it because I saw that Rose McGowan still sitting there. And then I saw on his stand, he had the fucking Thing toy, and it's the Thing toy from the 1990s. I don't know if you guys remember, there was like a Suncoast store or like some movie store that sold this thing. I think even some Spencer Gifts kind of sold it, but it's like a huge box set of like McCready in the dog pen with a blowtorch. That playset was there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know that's a lot of money, but I'm going to ask anyway. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, how much is that Thing toy? And he said $400. And I was like, oh, okay. And he says, oh, yeah, it's a rare piece. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I walked away, and I was thinking, like, I know a lot of us are walking around with a lot of money. But, like, are we going to blow $400 at one table? Especially for something that we could probably get online for at least $200 cheaper? Because I don't even think it's $400 US. Like, if you were adjusted, I think it's cheaper in the US than he was charging Canadian. So, yeah. I was just thinking that. I'm like, yeah, there's people here carrying lots of money. But are we all going to blow that much at one table? Like, seriously, are we going to blow that much at one table? Maybe people will. Maybe people do. I don't know. But as like a person who comes like from a regular job who kind of just has like between 500 to 1,000, I'm guessing, just average person job. Even I'm not average. That's probably more than most people carry around their average Joes. It's like, I'm not going to blow all that at one table. Half my shit is going to signatures, you know? Like, I'm budgeting signatures, and whatever I have left, I'm going to the tables with. So I was just like, I don't know about that guy. I think that's just like a conversational piece. Like, you go to the table, like, oh, yeah, how much is that? Oh, it's $400. Oh, it's a rare piece, blah, blah, this and that and the other. Okay, I'll buy this cheaper figure for $10. But, like, you know, I'm not interested in the other figures. I just thought it was weird. Let's see. You know how much I can spend $400. I was like, yeah, you know, I could spend that somewhere else. I could spend $400 buying all the GI Joes that Anthony sold me on through his GI Joe Yo Joe video. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was weird. So that was my Comic-Con experience. I hope they don't use that moderator again, or if they do, hope he does some research and like just dials it back. Don't be such a fanboy. Don't go overboard with that, because that was bad. That was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, if he does it again, just like professional. Don't talk too much about yourself. Handful of questions. Time it out. Practice at home. You know, those 5 questions. At least keep it to 5. If the person's not talking, go to 10. You know, and if you completely don't know this person, just turn it over to the audience, because those were packed audiences for the Friday the 13th crowd and the Judith Hogue and the Texas Chainsaw guys. There's plenty of questions from the audience. Let them ask the questions, you know. Just let them do that. Because it just reminds me of, they're called, during Steel City Con, freaking John Carpenter was getting asked these questions from the moderator. And he was like, yeah, I don't like these questions. Let's go to the audience. Even he was like, let's go to the audience. Let's talk to the audience. They have questions. Let's hear from them. So that would be my advice. If you're going to do moderation, do the slightest bit of research. Look at the panel. If they don't give you a schedule, just look at the schedule that's posted online and then just like do the math. Because the panel was posted at least a week of, and they were changing it on the spot. When Diamond, what's his name? Dusty Rhodes, he canceled. Gold Dust, when he canceled, they updated that schedule online. So it was online at least for the week of the event. So just like do minor research, screen grab it on your phone if you don't have the computer to print it out. I don't know. But just like, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's Becky. Hey, it's Becky. It's Becky. Hey, it's Becky. Becky, congratulations on your new puppy dog. New member of the family. Hashtag Manfred. That poor cat. Exactly. We want to ask our silly questions. Yes! Let us ask if April O'Neil was the voice on the cartoon. Let us ask if there was some motivation to Leatherface. Let us ask these questions. You know? My goodness. Yeah, don't ask the silly questions for us. We want to ask them. Okay, so I just got a note. Don't repeat the story. So, yeah, I was just saying giving advice. Oh, I think that's what it was. My mom probably saw, hi, Becky. So how are you, Frank and Captain? Frank and Captain? I don't know. Captain Iron Dog. Captain Iron Dog, I think, is good. He's been watching the whole time. And I'm good. I'm not going to repeat this whole story, Becky. I just wanted to say hello to Becky. Hello. Becky, you just missed most of the panel story and everything else. Other than that, I think that was everything. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I did get the shirt from the Comic Con, the call it, Beverly D'Angelo and Chevy Chase, because I thought it looked fun. And not only that, but now if April O'Neil comes back into town, I have the Ninja Turtle shirt, the one that says Sid. So now I could do like the wallet pose, so I could hold my wallet next to her. Doing all right, Becky. Thank you. That's what Captain Iron Dog says. That's okay. I had puppy duties and work. Glad I got to stop by and say hello. Hello, everybody. Please subscribe to Full Metal and everything. She plays video games. She plays Stardew Valley and Final Fantasy. One of my favorite shows that she ever did was when she played on the Final Fantasy pirate ship. The pirate ship was the size of 3 football fields, and she's running around trying to find out what the next step was. And then it was a little doorway under a stairwell, and she finally was able to finish the level. It was great. Subscribe to Full Metal. That is Full Metal Becky right there. There she is. One of the favorite stories. And I think, did I get another question? My mom says hi, Becky. So that stupid ship. Mom says hi, Becky. She says hi. So with that story being finished and seeing Judith Hogue gets 10 out of 10. Lee Waddell gets 10 out of 10. Roger L. Jackson gets 10 out of 10. And did I show all my pictures? Because I did download them for the show. Give me a second. I think I did, yeah. But just to show them again. Yep, I got a selfie with Lee. Oh, and there's the bracelet. That's the bracelet he gave me. It says Ghostface, Niagara Falls Comic Con. That's really cool. Again, I wish I wore my hat. I'm so sweaty. I'll remember it for Nickel City Con. Nickel City Con is the next one I'm going to in the next couple of weeks. That one, I'm going to see Shannon Elizabeth. I'm going to dress as the Ghostface from, what do you call it? Scary Movie. I have the hook. I have it right here because I ordered it. I have the hook from the movie, and I have the mask. And hopefully, if my hair grows out, my hair kind of grows out, I kind of want to do the doofy haircut. Hopefully, my hair kind of grows out on the side so I could kind of like gel it or whatever and go like, or whatever for the photo. Mom tells you gotta respect me when I wear this badge. Man of the law. Oh my gosh. Oh God, I love Doofy. So I meet her, and then I got to get a signature. It'll basically complete my Halloween poster because I doubt I'll ever meet Sheriff Brackett or what do you call it? Oh God, what's her name? I know she's an Elsa Brackett. She's oh my God, what's her name? Poor Lori scared another one away. Shit. Oh my God, how am I forgetting? Oh God, how embarrassing. I got to look it up. It's bothering me. Oh, Annie. There we go. Annie, are you okay? That's right. Annie Brackett. So the signature I'm getting at Nickel City Con is the Michael Myers that takes off his mask for that split second because his eyes like this at the end of the movie, and he gets shot by Loomis. That's the Michael Myers I'm seeing at Nickel City Con. He'll be signing my Halloween poster. So with him, all that's left is Annie Brackett, Sheriff Brackett, and God, if there is a fucking miracle, Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, I highly doubt that'll ever happen. But like, those are the last 3 signatures I'll need for that Halloween poster because they're all basically the only people still alive from that movie. Let's see. Speaking of cons, I'm meeting Brandon Ralph tomorrow. Holy shit! Oh my God, Superman himself. Oh my gosh. Wow. Speaking of Superman at this Nickel City Con, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I probably will do it just because they're getting up in age. But I'm going to get a photo with Lionel Luthor and Jonathan Kent from Smallville. And I'll be wearing my Talkville shirt and doing the Someone Save Me pose. And probably wearing the WB hat. It'll be fun. Because I love Talkville. Is that the Smell My Finger dude? My ass. Yep, that's him, Becky. That is Doofy. Dude, I'd be nervous too. It's Brandon Ralph. I actually I met Brandon Ralph. He was there with the Scott Pilgrim cast. My dumbass was one of those fanboy people. Because back then, if you watch the footage, it's so embarrassing just hearing me. Because I'm in full fanboy mode. I'm totally not that now. I'm like professional silent type. It's like, unless somebody is there egging me on, like that one chick I met at Fan Expo last year, she was like, "Oh my God," and we were both like, "Oh my God." But like, when by myself, I'm like normal person, but like if I'm there with the crowd, I'm like, fanboy. And I was fanboying over Brandon Ralph with the Scott Pilgrim cast because it was Brandon Ralph, Jason Schwartzman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Michael Cera, Aubrey Plaza, the Indian ex boyfriend from the movie, and then Edgar Wright. I think those are the ones. Oh shit! Shit, that's right. There's what do you call it? So every once in a while, I look at these posts of Comic Cons and I see who might go to Fan Expo. And I did see an announcement for Mary Elizabeth Winstead at one of them, and I saw an announcement for Rosario Dawson at another one of them. And I was like, oh my god, if they show up, death proof, baby, death proof. That'd be so fucking awesome. Anyway, there's that. But yeah, I'm excited for you tomorrow. Meeting Brandon Ralph. So hopefully you keep it together. You know, don't go full fanboy, but you're like literally meeting one of the Supermen. There's only been like 5 Supermen, right? And you're meeting one of them. That's incredible. So no pressure. No pressure. So with that being said, I think that'll wrap up the show. Next week will be not even next week. Oh my god, 2 days from now, this Sunday, I'll be doing a show with Sarah, and we're going to be talking about Top Gun Maverick and City of Angels. That should be a fun one. So I got to watch those this weekend in this hot weather. Oh my gosh, I have a fan on. It's still hot in here. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'll be watching those this weekend and talking about those on Sunday. And then I believe next Sunday's show will be an unboxing show. I was originally going to call it The Anthony Made Me Do It, but I might actually hold that off for another week because next week I think I have enough, but I still need to order stuff for the Anthony Made Me Do It episode. Because I gotta pick up some G.I. Joes. I got some figures here. And I think it'd be really fun to do that episode. The Anthony Made Me Do It. I want him to... Oh, yeah. Captain Iron Dog says, I want him to sign the logo teaser poster I just got with a quote. I've been waiting for him to write. Yes, that's so awesome, dude. Oh, my gosh. I love it. I should think about that for Shannon Elizabeth. I wonder if I should have her write a quote. Or should I just have her write her name and character name? I might have her write a quote. I have to watch Scary Movie again. Because I love her in that movie because she's such a bitch. And she's so mean to Doofy. My ass. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I got to watch Scary Movie again. That's hilarious. So thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in Sunday. And also, before I forget, oh my gosh, please go to Facebook, look up I Want My TV Now, like the page because I'm unable to stream live on Facebook anymore. Facebook came up with new rules that said you need over 100 people in order to stream there. It's already 60 days old. I just need 100 followers on that page so I can stream there. Because there's some people who can only watch on Facebook, and now they can't watch on Facebook. So I want people to watch on Facebook. I want people to be able to share on Facebook. So please go like the Facebook page. Let me leave a comment here in the things. I think I still have it pasted. Yep, there it is. Leaving in the comments. There it is. Please go to that Facebook link. Go to the I Want My TV Now. Like the page so I'm able to stream there. Thank you, everybody. And this was a good episode. Yes, Becky. Stupid rules. You man. You stupid man. That's from Hook. Anyway, good night, everybody.